Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Review Anything and Everything. And today we are getting into an unboxing and review of this Lego set, and I am going to change up the camera angle in a moment to get a better look at this box because it stands more vertically than it does horizontally, obviously. But this is from the Icon set. It's their Botanical collection. Sorry about the focusing. It's hard for it to focus on the length of this box from this camera angle, but is from the Botanical collection, Bouquet of Roses. It actually equates to a dozen roses. You can see here some of the information on the bottom. Icon set 18 plus. That is the set number 10328, 822 pieces. Now, you could pick this up on Amazon. I'm going to throw the affiliated link in the description. I had happened to have purchased this at Costco at the time because I actually purchased this during or around about Valentine's Day, but I didn't get a chance to get into it at the moment because I was reviewing a few other things at the time that were coming before this. So finally getting a chance to jump into this. Now, try to get a little bit of, sorry about the focusing. See some of the images on the box here. Bouquet of Roses, part of their flower collection. Here you're able to put someone's name on it to gift it to someone if you want. But I purchased this mainly for the channel and just to be able to display, to see this is my first actually flower Lego based set. And I always thought that they looked nice. So I figured during that time, and I saw this for a pretty good deal. Well, I think it was the standard deal that it cost even on Amazon, which was, I want to say about about $60. Put the link in the description to see if that price has changed over time. I think that's what it was roughly about. But, you know, I really like the idea of these flower sets. To me, this seems like one of the best ones to get, obviously. But this has been a large thing, a big thing since I've seen lately in stores with the whole flower sets and, you know, different types, all different types of flower sets, some that are small like little pots that you put together, little tiny pots, and I've seen some other ones that were big floral sets of various types of flowers. And I think the positive with Lego doing this in their collection, because obviously a lot of people buy Legos for the purpose of display sets, what better concept than something that naturally is to be displayed, flowers, yet will never go bad, but yet unlike say fake flowers, which have their own appeal, regular fake but realistic looking flowers, these have that kind of impact of once you look at it and you realize it's Lego, it becomes almost like a piece of art. And I've actually seen some family members who actually own a set or two of these and displayed them during, I think it was Thanksgiving. They had a set that looked very Thanksgiving like with that type of flowers that have those type of colors that you think of when you think of Thanksgiving, like those kind of browns and oranges and similar to the, festive plants and whatnot, corn and stuff like that, that goes with Thanksgiving. Not that the set had corn, but you get that image I'm trying to portray there. So, let's see if there's anything on the back. On the back here, you can see that there is a, you could see here that it's set up a little bit of display here. So we have the roses here, and we have the, I'm sorry, we have, sorry about that, I had a little bit of a distraction. We have, we see here the different roses that come with it. So there's 3 different types, and I'm guessing that each 3 of those types repeat to formulate the dozen. So I guess maybe there is 4 of each one of the 3 sets. And then you have that, which is, what is they call that again? Baby breath, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can put in the comments if I said that wrong. It shows you here that each stem is 12 inches. I guess you could make them long because there's a way to extend to make them longer or not longer. Obviously, vase is not included. I'm sorry if what I was pointing at wasn't in focus, but I'm looking at it from outside the screen. And then here you see there is the set displayed in a vase on a table. So it gives you an idea of how it would look for yourself if you had it set up. So that is that. And okay, so I'm going to pause the video, re-angle to get a up and down view of the box. And then I am going to get into the unboxing. Okay, you guys, here you can see that view that I wanted to show you guys of the box standing vertically because it's just a really nice box. And I wanted you to get a scope of that. In addition, I wanted to emphasize the fact that the box and like the nice art on it and whatnot is part of the gift. You know, granted, now if you're giving it to someone who is into building, they might build it themselves. But if you give it to somebody who doesn't, then obviously you would present them with a box, and maybe you would then, you know, if it's maybe somebody that is a significant other to you, you would then at a later point in time build it for them if you know they're not the building type, but you would display it with the box. Like I said, I definitely feel the box itself is a very nice display piece in itself. So I just wanted you guys to be able to see that angle of it. I know as far as you guys watching it on a video, that you guys are watching this channel on, it's gonna feel like, you know, the camera angles flip flop. So I'm sorry about that. But when I edit this in, but I just really wanted to actually have it where you could kind of see the full length of the box. I just thought that was worth being seen, and the landscape image wasn't really capturing that completely. So back in landscape mode, I am going to open up this box and show you all the pieces that come with it. Now, one thing I also want to point out too is it's definitely, like I already mentioned, it's a very nice box. There are no points in which to open the box. So in terms of, oh, wait, no, there actually is. I'm sorry. It's down here. Most of the time Lego does put this, but here you go. Now, one thing to note also is if you don't want to do the whole poke your finger in, because you're supposed to put two fingers in like this, which, you know, kind of a little bit messes up the box. You can always just go like this. And generally speaking, in those areas, they make the box a little bit, I think, easier to navigate. Though I'm kind of cutting into it in a way I didn't want to. I kind of scraped it a little bit there, but it's okay. Hopefully not a problem for us to just peel this open. I always forget about this. You got to come on the sides as well. Otherwise, it's not going to open up correctly. And now this should just fold right open, easy, which it does. And I would say this box is worth definitely keeping, because I think that the box itself could be, if you have it on your shelf as a display piece, possibly. Now, let's see how many bags we have inside this, along with the instructions and whatnot. Now let's see if there's one of those boxes that have one of these sets. I'm sorry, that has a fancy instructions, because sometimes you have some of them that have fancy instructions. I'm just going to put that in the background there. So we have that's bag 5. This is going to be bag 6. Let's see what total we go up to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 bags in total. So that's not too bad. I think it's going to be a lot of repetitive build process. So maybe it shouldn't be too hard, even though 822 pieces is a lot of pieces. Obviously, people who have watched the channel know that I have put together, my biggest Lego set was the Star Wars Ghost set. And that took, even though I built it while I was recording, so it did make it take a lot, but it definitely, that made it stretch, but definitely was a long thing. So here we see here, and I'm hoping that all of these can be seen on the camera at one time. Let me angle this a little differently, because I know I got a little bit of glare, so that way you guys can see this completely. I'm sorry. So instruction 1, 2, and this is 3. sorry, you can't really see the number on the screen, but I don't want to throw the rest of these too far off from the image here. So, all right, here we go. Adjust this, just at the angle, it looks a little better. So it seems to be that each number is one of the set of stems. So you have those type of roses. Well, stem rose, you get what I mean. So this is one type of rose. This is another type, and this is another type. So essentially, the three that was displayed on the back of the box, this seems to be each type. So I'm going to guess that this would put together maybe three of those types. So bag 1 and 2 is giving me 4 of these types. So I guess it's going to be 4, 4, and 4, as I had mentioned before. But I said it in multiples of each set of ones to be 4. So essentially, you have 4 of this type, 4 of that type, and 4 of this type here. Bag 3, instruction 3. I'm sorry, which would form into the set of 12. So that's why they group it up like that, which is nice, because essentially what you could have is, if you want to make it a group project, or you're building it with somebody, or even multiple family members, you could have 3 people put these things together at the same time, where one person takes bag 1 and 2, the other one 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. Now this, I have never had an icon set that I can remember having an icon set. So icon sets tend to be a little more artistic, I want to say. So even the instruction manuals, which I've never had one like this before, even shows this kind of display on it. The whole little setup, a universal expression of love. They go into context with the text over here. You could pause this and read for yourself. So essentially, this just gets into the fact that, like I said before, you could pause and read for yourself. This essentially just gets into just telling you the different things, like it says down here, for romantic first dates, Valentine's Day, anniversaries, birthdays, and memorable milestones. So essentially saying that you can give this for all the multiple different occasions that would exist for a set like this. Okay, just passing through some stuff on it. I mean, obviously, when I am done with the actual build, I am going to just review the set, but I just want to run through these booklets with you guys here for a moment. So here you can see build your special moment. It gives you more. You can pause that and read that. It gives you more artistic aspects to it. And like I said, the icon sets, for the most part, I don't know if, for example, Star Wars, the UCS sets count as icon sets, but I think almost all icon sets, because I know the UCS sets come with this, which are the Ultimate Collector sets, come with this kind of stuff where they give you information in the booklets and whatnot from the design team, and it goes into more information here into things. And it really just kind of gives you a sense of that it's this kind of premium set that has, additional just information with it. So it definitely has a nice feel to it when you look at it like that. And I definitely say, for the money, it's nice that you're getting those additional things in it. This one right here doesn't have that in it. But this one also has the last 2 sets of roses, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and the 2 sets of baby breath. So okay, so seeing here, as I'm passing through this, seeing this for the first time, as you guys are as well, it starts to say here things like a symbol of everlasting love, the dainty baby's breath, and it goes into just details of the plant as you go through the book. So I'm going to imagine, as I go through the build, there's going to show little tidbits of, different floral information in regards to the build as you go through it. So making the booklets even beyond just what you see in the first pages of book 1 and 2 in regards to talking to you about, what the creators were thinking and their thoughts behind the process and everything like that. You, in addition, get other little tidbits. You'll see the little rose symbol, and it lets you know that there's something here relating to that. Roses are some of the oldest known flowers in the world. Fossils date back as far as 35 million years. So you're going to get a bit of information as you go through it, which gives a higher incentive to, hold on to your instruction booklets. Not that you would really want to get rid of them anyway, but you're knowing that this goes along with it. So even if somebody was, say, you had this on display and then you wanted to just kind of, have that moment to revisit it, you could go through the booklets, read it amongst to the person and whatnot about not only your build process, but some of the information that goes along with it. Um, Here you see the oldest living rose is more than 1,000 years old. And some more information. And like I said, at the end of it all, you come to the full collection of a dozen roses: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, with the 4 pieces of baby breath. I think this is just an amazing set. So I'm going to build up the set, and then we will return and review the set and go into more details into everything. So be back in a moment. All right, guys, welcome back. So now that we have everything set up and put together, here you can see there are 3 sets of types of roses and 1 set of baby breath. So you have, let's see, I know it's a lot here and also all scattered out. I actually should have, what I'm going to end up doing then is, you see the full display here. I'm just going to move some of them out the way and then just have each one type in front. Okay, so here we go. So these are the 3 types. This was the first type that was built. You can see here the design. And here is the second type that was built. They look very nice. This one includes a thorn and includes these little pieces of leaflets, if you want to call them, hanging from the side. The only thing I'm going to knock about them is that they spin. And the only problem with that becomes when you lay it down, it always seems to be on the tilted downwards like that. So maybe I can put them at an angle. You could, and that's one thing too positive, is you're able to move some of these things around for different angles that, give them a different look. Like you can move this up a little more. So that gives it a little bit more dynamic when you set it up to make each one look a little bit different. But that's the one negative when it comes to that. This one also has a thorn on it as well. You can see here, there's a very bloomed type of rose setting where they used a little whip in the middle. So they, all 3 of them have different builds. That part's nice. And here goes the baby breath, which is a very simple build. That, I like the way it's done. I also like the way that, so you have 2 regular Lego, I guess you would call them branches, for lack of a better word. Look at it from this angle, that were put together. You would think that the stem would go into the center there, but it goes in the middle here of these 2 parts, that two parts of the branch that overlap. And I thought that was very interesting because then it centers the whole dynamic of the baby breath. So that's nice. You can see the little stem coming up there in the middle. So that's cool. Now I'm a big fan of roses. I used to draw them years back, and I still do every now and then. And it's a very simple thing to do. Actually, I'm just going to demonstrate that really quick, just so you could see, not one, that it's very easy to do, but then 2, just why I've always, just besides for the art of it, enjoyed just the the rose and the beauty of a rose and just the way it looks and what it represents in society and how much weight it has, that a plant could have so much weight, particularly the rose opposed to every other plant, which they do have their meaning and purposes, but a rose obviously is probably the most iconic, at least in the States. I can't speak for other places, but probably in the world, the most iconic flower to exist and what it represents. So something I used to always do pretty often, but is a really quick, simple. This is serves no purpose other than to show you that I, like I said, my enjoyment and appreciation of roses. And sometimes I used to draw a collection of these, or even after drawing them, give them away as a little, you want to call it a little gift, but more so just, you draw something for someone if you're into drawing. Um, and I'm just rushing this, but you get an idea. And like I said, I get it. This is a Lego review. So it's like, okay, why is he doing that? But like I said, the purpose of it is just, no, speed this along. I like roses. So with that being said, I just do that to show you that this is not just a random set just bought and there's no appreciation for it. I really actually do enjoy one. I like the floral sets in general, always wanted to get one. But two, roses was when I saw this on the shelf, I just had to get it because I really just like the concept of roses. The build techniques that they did on it it's very interesting and dynamic, yet fun and pretty simple, easy to do. Though it says an 18 plus set, it says 18 in regards to I think more so who would purchase this and not so much about how hard it is to build, because it definitely you wouldn't be need to have to be 18 to build it. It also says on the box 1 to 3 because obviously you've seen there's 3 booklets, so you would be able to um, have 3 people build it at the same time. Now, like I said, with the ability to adjust certain things on it, you can kind of customize the way each one slightly looks. Really, this one and that one, the first and second build, the third build, not so much. But the techniques here are just very interesting in terms of these things right here are the mud flaps, if you want to call them, or dirt guards that would go on a car, on a Lego car. Got the little whip here. Also, these are those mud guards as well. Um, And I'm not familiar if these pieces were dedicated for this. I think I've seen them before in Lego sets, but in a different color. That piece right there, but it's just very interesting. You know, very interesting, and just a very nice build. And when you put them all together, essentially, you can do multiple things with this. Now, either you can put them all together as a dozen roses, or you could build all these and literally give out a rose to family members as gifts, making this full set divide into 12 different gifts if you wanted to, and they would still be considered very nice. Because I've seen some Lego sets that have just I seen a yellow box one time inside a store that just had 2 roses, and I think it cost about $14. So in the grand scheme of that, I think the value of this, where if you just wanted to do that and then give it away, you could buy this whole set, maybe give, a rose or two to certain family members. And that way, say if you have Mother's Day and you want to give to, we'll say, even 6 different family members, you can give them each, 2 roses, however the combination you want to do it. And then that would be that. So I think that's nice. And occasionally to some of the family members too, you could just give them some of the baby breaths, either with it or, even if it's just one baby breath and one rose. and you kind of have them attached together in some way, or just have them like that. But it just gives you a lot of options when it comes to how you want to go about things. Within the booklets, like I mentioned before, and I kind of showed briefly a little bit earlier, there is a lot of like information about the roses and times that across the world that they existed, or fossils or things, all this kind of information. So it's very much a pleasant journey in building it, along with reading and getting that knowledge, knowing that they put that work and that effort into it. So that's very nice. I definitely recommend the set. I definitely There are so many different floral sets, so if you want to be the type of person who gets them all, you can do so. But I definitely would say that this is definitely one of the best and the most iconic, because just in my opinion, I think the rose is the most iconic, most renowned flower of all. It has the most meaning of all. It stands out the most. Obviously, it's given for Mother's Day, it's given for Valentine's Day, it's given for special moments, and I don't think there's any flower that surpasses that. So if you are in the market for a flower set, this is definitely probably the one that is number one or takes the cake. With that being said, you guys, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.